I'd like to welcome former chair of the Old Saybrook Police Commission, Christina Burnham. Our honored speakers this evening will be Mr. James Rovella, Commissioner of the State Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Mr. Michael Gaylor, State's Attorney for the Middlesex County Judicial District, the Honorable Peter McShane, Superior Court Judge, and finally, a very warm welcome to Chief Spira's wife, Heather, and their children, Caden and Kendall, and to all our Old Saybrook family and friends. I'm so pleased that you're here this evening to bear witness to the Commission's celebration of historic and positive achievements. I'd ask that you please stand as we honor America with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sergeant Walsh, please post the colors.
Present arms. Color guard. Mark time. Mark. Left. Left. Forward. Mark. Color guard. Halt. Right. Turn. Right. Turn. Forward. Mark. Well, come. Present arms. Order arms. Color guard. Right, turn. Right, turn. Mark time. Mark. Forward. Mark. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Left.
I'd like to introduce Carl Fortuna for a few opening remarks.
Thank you, Chief, Chairman Keeney, for allowing me to say a few words tonight. Please allow me also to recognize my fellow members of the Board of Selectmen, Scott Giegerich and Matt Pugliese. Thank you both for being here. Congratulations to Captain DePerry, Patrol Sergeant Hardy, and welcome to Patrolman Harris. I want to express my sincere appreciation to the three of you and to all of our public safety professionals for the career you have chosen. When you entered this profession, you made the decision to safeguard the greater public interest, and I know that is what you do each and every day. But Old Saybrook's finest go above and beyond even that by also being our community's first responders. The residents of our town and those who visit our town every day rely on you not only for their safety, but their welfare. And I believe, actually I know, we have a community appreciative of the work you do. Look, I don't think it's ever been easy to be a cop, just the work itself. But it certainly is true today that it's not easy to be an officer. Yet, despite this, each and every one of you has chosen and listened to these words, a proud and noble profession. And don't forget that. As public safety professionals, you will always persevere and rise above because our nation, our state, our town, we are dependent upon a lawful and orderly society, and therefore we, the public, everybody here today and everybody that will watch this video and recording in the next few days and the weeks to come, we are dependent on you. To the Old Saybrook police officers and to your fellow brothers and sisters all across the nation, I thank you for choosing what you do each and every day. Captain DePerry, my most sincere congratulations to you. I've worked with you during my tenure over the last 9 years, and I know your work ethic and commitment are second to none. Well, maybe second to one. How's that? All right? You are deserving of this promotion, and I wish you well in your new role. Patrol Sergeant Hardy, I want to commend you on your achievement today. Your new role will require more responsibilities, and based upon your career to date, you are the right man for the job. As First Selectman, thank you for achieving all you have achieved in your young career, and the best to you as Patrol Sergeant. And welcome, Patrolman Harris. As you begin your policing career, I believe you could not have chosen a finer community. Please get to know us, because Old Saybrook is truly a special place. You will find that you will be treated with kindness and respect for all that you will do. Best of luck to you. Thank you again, Chief and Chairman Keeney. Congratulations again to the three of you.
Hi again. This gives me the opportunity to talk a little bit about the Old Saybrook Police Commission. I'm pleased to report that over the last 10 months, the Police Commission has accomplished many things. We've celebrated the department's 60th anniversary of service to the town of Old Saybrook. We've reviewed and approved fiscal 2021 spending plan that allows for a safe, sound, and fiscally responsible budget for the department. We've reviewed the 2019 executive accomplishments, received the executive goals for 2020, and have already conducted an in-year review of these goals. We've worked with the chief to enhance communication between his office and the commission. We've participated in union contract negotiations. We've authorized the replacement of police officer duty weapons, replacing models that were more than 10 years old. We've received numerous briefings concerning the operation of the department and delivery of law enforcement services to the community during the coronavirus pandemic. Easy for me to say. We have hired a consultant to enhance the department's policies to ensure they meet standard policies, to ensure they meet standards and are easier to access by our personnel. We've received and posted to the department's website our notice of compliance to law enforcement standards and practices. We've completed a patrol sergeant process. We've established the position of captain. We still have a lot of work to do. Over the next few months, we will be reviewing recommendations concerning a much-needed replacement of the department's records management system. We will be receiving a presentation on pursuing CALEA accreditation. We'll be discussing in detail the department's fleet replacement program, and we'll be learning more about the department's operations and the efficiencies learned during the COVID-19 response. We'll also begin discussions regarding our fiscal 2020 budget. We're hard at work for both the residents of our community and those members of the Old Saybrook Police Department. We're proud of the men and women who work so tirelessly to provide this community with superior service each and every day. Please continue to work hard each day and continue to forge those positive relationships with the community members and business owners, and when necessary, take action to protect each other and the residents and visitors of Old Saybrook. Ladies and gentlemen of the department, you have this commission's respect, you have this commission's support. Your safety is important to us. You are all important to us. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Chief Spira. The podium's yours to commence the graduation and promotional ceremonies.
Attention. Present arms. Order arms. Ready?
Members of the Police Commission, Board of Selectmen, Fire Department leaders, members of the Department of Police Services, distinguished guests, family and friends, welcome to the Department of Police Services. I would like to start by thanking the Old Saybrook Police Commission for scheduling tonight's special meeting. In doing so, you have opened up what would normally be a private ceremony to the public, allowing this momentous and celebratory occasion to be transparent, viewed by all in attendance, and all who will view this online in the coming days. Thank you all for your leadership. Because it is 123 degrees outside, not only have I issued an executive order relieving myself of having to wear a tie, I have also pared down my remarks, which truly makes this a momentous occasion. As your police chief, however, there are things that must be addressed as we forge forward in a new and different policing climate. Each day across our great country, in each and every town and city in Connecticut, and right here in the community of Old Saybrook, law enforcement officers are selfishly serving with distinction, honor, integrity, and professionalism. They are answering the calls for help from complete strangers, speaking for victims of crime that have no voice, collaborating with non-law enforcement partners to solve problems, and truly saving human lives. The fine men and women of law enforcement should not be identified with those who wore a uniform when committing immoral, horrific, and criminal actions. Rather, the professionals to my right, those on patrol or answering 911 calls right now, must be and will be defined by the heroic actions of public safety dispatchers and law enforcement professionals make every day in America. Civilian law enforcement in the United States of America is a key component to keeping our society free and safe. Each and every day, in communities from sea to shining sea, law enforcement professionals preserve our quality of life by drawing the line in the sand and making sure the criminal element does not infect or destroy American communities. The badge, and in essence our police uniforms, and the human beings who are proud to wear them, have sadly become targets of hatred and violence. Members of the law enforcement community are under attack for simply doing their job, serving their communities, proudly wearing their uniform and badge. We reluctantly accept this as our new yet temporary reality, but we press on to do our jobs because the public simply counts on us to do so. The tide will change and the law enforcement professional will once again be celebrated because good always prevails over evil in the end. With every interaction we have with the public, we will do our best to build bridges, strengthen already strong relationships, and change the mindsets of those who may have lost their way. While police officers are often identified by their uniforms, we must remember that the uniform does not make the person. Rather, the human being behind the badge, their moral compass, their self-sacrifice, generosity, sense of duty, and compassion makes the police uniform come alive and makes the badges shine. As conversations about the future of policing occur, it'll be our job to first listen and then to collaborate. It is important for all perspectives to be shared, all voices to be heard. Those who want to foster change but have no desire to listen to other perspectives are not truly interested in collaborating. They are just interested in arguing. We are not interested in doing so. This theory can be applied to national discussions, statewide debates, and even how we lead in Old Saybrook. I applaud the Board of Selectmen for their recent decision to table the appointment of a new police commissioner after my call to make the police commission more diverse and more inclusive, to be a better representation of the Old Saybrook community and more representative of the members of the Department of Police Services. I call on the leaders of the Democratic Town Committee to pause, listen to the national conversation, listen to conversations formally happening in Old Saybrook each and every week, and seize this leadership opportunity to forward the name of a qualified person that adds much needed diversity to the Board of Police Commissioners to the Board of Selectmen for their consideration. There is much trepidation and uncertainty as the rules on how we do our jobs are changing, which make our jobs even more difficult. While this will be debated in the coming weeks in Hartford, here is what I know. We got this. Old Saybrook is as fortunate to have you as you are to have them. We have been through crisis after crisis, and our agency has always taken a leadership role in Old Saybrook to a full and successful recovery each and every time. We collect toys and turkeys for those in need, fundraise for good causes, all with the community's partnership. We keep our schools and the kids that attend them safe. We save lives every day through our EMS first responder program. We protect children in fear and are the first ones on scene to restore order and create peace. I truly believe that the Old Saybrook community will ensure that you will continue to be supported through compensation, benefits, professional development, and equipment needed to perform your sworn duties and keep you safe so that their 911 calls are answered promptly and that professional, skilled, and equipped police officers are at the ready to respond to save the day. While there may be trepidation, there is one thing that is certain, and that is my resolve and the dedication to the town of Old Saybrook, the Department of Police Services, and to each and every member of our agency. You can rest assured that I will always speak on matters of public concern, that I will support each member of this agency and be there for them and their families personally and professionally at any hour of the day. I will praise each of you for your great accomplishments and apologize to the public when we make a mistake. You will be rewarded for your dedication and appropriately disciplined if need be. Both are very important to us to maintain the public's trust that we share with our citizens. You are the human beings behind the badge that I truly care about. You are the mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, boyfriends and girlfriends, husbands and wives to people who love you, who care about you, who worry about you, who are so very proud of what you do every day. My pledge to all the families here continues to be the same pledge that I made on October 21st, 2009, when I had the distinct honor of becoming the 5th chief in our department's history. The promise is that your loved one's safety, your safety, will always be my #1 top priority. Thank you. This evening, we will bear witness to the graduation of a new police officer, the promotion of a patrol sergeant, and the promotion of a captain. Each of these separate events is historic in nature, and each singular act will make the Department of Police Services better, stronger, wiser, and more capable as we continue to deliver superior traditional and non-traditional law enforcement services to our community. As part of the ceremonies, you will see these fine individuals take an oath of office administered by Superior Court Judge Peter McShane. The oath of office is a public official's promise made before their family, friends, peers, their supervisors, and tonight, the public, to meet a specific position's obligations. You will also witness the pinning on of new badges. A police officer's badge classifies the bearer as a protector of peace, someone who is wise, brave, and truthful, both in their sworn duties and private actions. But most importantly, a law enforcement professional's badge is a symbol of public trust, a trust that must be remembered and then earned with every action, a trust that must be sacred to the bearer of each badge, and a trust that must never be taken for granted. We must always be mindful that it is us, the law enforcement professionals, that citizens turn to for assistance in their darkest hour. We must never forget every day when we don our police uniforms, we do so to get ready to defend and protect those who need us the most. The child who can't speak, the battered domestic violence victim that lives in fear, the elderly citizen with nowhere to turn, and everyone that has a fear they cannot confront alone. We will be their shining light. The one person they can count on, we will be their rock. Old Saybrook police officers must possess the courage, morals, and integrity to be fortunate enough to wear the Old Saybrook police uniform. The town of Old Saybrook is privileged to have such a brave, professional, kind, and caring police force watching over them. Likewise, every member of the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services is honored to serve the citizens and visitors of the town of Old Saybrook. Each of the members of our great agency that will be highlighted tonight will carry out their new respective duties as assigned to the best of their abilities while preserving, protecting, enforcing, and defending the United States Constitution, the Constitution of the State of Connecticut, and the Charter and ordinances of the town of Old Saybrook. They will also promise to uphold the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. Our first celebration tonight will be the graduation of Patrolman Austin Harris from the Connecticut Police Academy. Every single police officer in our agency had the privilege of going to a real police academy graduation, where all of our friends and families would come and celebrate such a monumentous achievement, not only going through the rigorous hiring process, the written test, the physical agility test, the technical oral board, the psychological evaluation, the polygraph test, otherwise known as the lie detector test, and then that rigorous chief's interview before they sat down with the police commission to hopefully get appointed. That was the easy part. Then it was off to the Police Officer Standards and Training Council for 26 weeks of round-the-clock training, except for this year. This year, a little thing called COVID-19 disrupted the end of the police academy, and although our academy instructors and administrators did a phenomenal job finishing the education, the graduates lost something very special, and that was their graduation ceremony. So we are pleased to give that to Patrolman Austin Harris tonight. One of the things that would have happened at graduation is we would have heard from the commissioner during a keynote address. And that is why we have invited for you tonight, and he graciously accepted, being a good friend and a great law enforcement leader. I would like to ask Commissioner Rovella, Chief Rovella, to come to the podium to say a few words about the Police Officer Standards and Training Council, law enforcement, and our graduate. Commissioner?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's never good to go deep into the speaker list because they often take everything you're going to say. So you have to come up with good and creative things. But good evening and welcome. This is known as a home game for me because I don't live that far away from here with my wife, Sandy. And I want to speak more from the heart than from prepared statement. Officer Harris, where are you, young man? Welcome to the family. And I mean this with disrespect. You're part of a greater family. The firefighters, the volunteers, the canine officers, the folks inside, the dispatchers, the folks across the street at Town Hall. You're part of a bigger family that gets to serve and protect. And I have to tell you, We don't sell stock in our family business. We don't revel in the bottom line. We have that business where we're in the public safety realm. I don't know if I could put a cost on everything we do. But you have to realize, without the people across the street, your cruisers don't run. You don't get uniforms. Things don't work. And you have to be respectful for those people. And with that honor of being in the family business, you get to serve and protect all the families in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. I get to serve and protect almost 3.5 million people in this state and their families. That is the family business. I do that with the Connecticut State Police. I do that with the Post Academy you came from. I do that with the Fire Academy, the 911 Commission, and when they answer the phone, there's somebody there. I do that with the Connecticut State Police Laboratory, also known as the Forensic Laboratory, who analyzes those evidence for that silent witness. And we do it in emergency management, and the other part of my job being the Homeland Security Advisor to the governor. There's a lot going on in law enforcement these days. So welcome to the family. Embrace it. And please, don't ever disgrace us. We don't take that well. And I know the chief wouldn't take that well. The citizens would be disappointed. You have a lot to live up for. The good times in police work are up here. The service. The bad times are molehills. They really are. All right? And if you're around Sharon Lane, please stop by, because I can give you more of a lecture. Sergeant Hardy, where are you? Congratulations, young man. I used to tell officers in Hartford, hey, you have 1 foot in management, you have 1 foot with the officers. I no longer talk that way. I talk that you are now firmly placed in management. That's where you are. But that's a difficult responsibility, isn't it? I'm sure you're going to get training. You're going to have to take care of your officers. You're going to have to observe their daily attire. You're going to have to observe if they're having a bad day. You're going to have to observe if they're answering their calls correctly. You're going to read their reports. You're going to show up. As we all screamed at the TV for George Floyd to let him up, intervene, I also screamed for a supervisor. Where was that supervisor? 4 officers out on a call for service. They know there was a scuffle. They know they called for an ambulance. Where was that supervisor? Enormous responsibility for you, young man. You're going to live up to it because you have to. The police department depends on it. The upper management depends on it. The citizens of Old Saybrook depend on it. It's even-handed. It's kind as a father. But it's the steel hat of management. Good luck. Captain DePerry. Have a seat, please. Congratulations. Oh, so you've entered my area. And I tell you, as folks told me police work will never be the same, they're wrong. They're wrong. There's always going to be those good times. But you've now entered an area of management where you're going to be reviewing such things as how much time on the boat, how much time in the fleet, how much engine service. Have officers filled out their use of force? Have they completed reports? Have I have data available for the chief to make decisions? That's your job now. And you have to embrace it. You have to embrace it because these 3 officers are the change. You know, in my old world in Hartford, I was known as a dinosaur. Almost 40 years. And 37 with my wife with uninterrupted service. That means, you guys know what that means. So, I'd never change. And you should never change. I'd do it again in a second. And that's what's important. To the citizens of Old Saybrook, embrace your police department. Talk with officers. And to the police department, coming from Hartford, there was a thirst, an absolute thirst by citizens just to talk with police officers. That is the same way here. They want to know how you do things, why you do things, why you were trained that way, and why you do it. Explain to them. Explain to them those moments of tradecraft that every profession has. That tradecraft, well, I kind of knew they weren't telling me the truth. Or that discretion that said, hey, listen, I don't have to book them. I don't have to give them a ticket. You have that discretion. Utilize the tools at hand. So it's a great day. It's a great day for your families. And I say that all the time to my folks. It's more of a great day for your families. You have to engage with your families too. They want to know. They want to know what you do today. I can't tell you how many times Sandy would say, just a regular day. Which wasn't the case, was it? You did this, you did this, you did this. There's high times and there's low times. Chief, you really do it right here? Where'd you sneak off to? Shade. Feel free to sweat whenever you want. But the chief's in the shade. Chief, you do it right here. And I say you do it right because I've seen how you grow new explorers, and I've seen them doing traffic. I've seen how they smile. I've seen how they shake their hands, pre-COVID, of course. And I've seen officers that they're dressed correctly. They make a difference, and you're doing it right. And to the police commission, they are doing it right. And I've seen a lot of police departments, not only in Hartford, but around the state, but around the country when we used to travel a lot. There's a lot to be said about homegrown officers, keeping them moving through your ranks, educating them, giving them professional opportunities. It pays dividends. So please continue to do that. It's very important to everyone in Old Saybrook. So, ladies and gentlemen, I say around the academy, but I wasn't able to give you an actual post-academy graduation, right? Take a lot of pictures. Smile, and enjoy yourself, and revel with the citizens, the police commission, the first selectmen, the board. That's what's important here today, all right? And then tomorrow we'll get to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. If I could please have Patrolman Harris come forward. I would ask his boyfriend, Dylan Stemple, and his mother, Francesca Brooks, to also come forward. You guys can come all the way forward and just stand behind him, please. Judge McShane, right there on that first gray line there. Stand right behind him. And I would ask Judge McShane to administer the oath of office, sir.
Thank you. Austin, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. Please raise your right hand. I, Austin Gregory Harris,
I, Austin Gregory Harris,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully perform the duties of patrolman
that I will faithfully perform the duties of patrolman
for the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services
for the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, enforce, and defend
preserve, protect, enforce, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Connecticut,
the Constitution of the State of Connecticut,
the Charter and ordinances of the Town of Old Saybrook,
the Charter and ordinances of the Town of Old Saybrook,
and promise to honor and uphold
and promise to honor and uphold
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
There you go, spin for the photographer there. Get together, like, you know. You're all, there you go, there you go. Congratulations, Austin, and welcome. I tried to walk before like him, squaring the corners, I fell over, so. Our next ceremony will be the promotion of a new patrol sergeant. This is a particularly special patrol sergeant promotional ceremony because back in January, when Patrolman Hardy aspired to become a new patrol sergeant, The issues that we're dealing with so very publicly today were unheard of. We were just learning about COVID-19, and we're doing our best to police the town of Old Saybrook, along with our brothers and sisters and law enforcement across the nation. Tonight, I am very pleased to report that the Old Saybrook Police Commission has promoted their first ever in department history a black patrol sergeant. And we are so thrilled to have you achieve that with us this evening. That's a separate round of applause. Before the formal ceremony, I would like to introduce another true friend of law enforcement, the state's attorney for the Middlesex County Judicial District, Mr. Michael Gaylor. Don't call me out for standing for sure.
He puts the podium in the sun. And so, good evening. It's an honor to be here. First, I want to thank the chief for having me here, for the members of the Board of Selectmen for having me here, and the members of the commission for being here. I also want to thank the members of the public for showing up tonight. It's a great day. It's a day when we get to celebrate the swearing in of a new officer and the promotion of two individuals. One of the great things about being the state's attorney for the Judicial District of Middlesex is getting to see the fine work that is done by these officers on a daily basis. We get to see the investigations that they conduct, the victims that they help, the lives that they save, and the lives that they affect on a daily basis. It is truly inspiring. One of the other great things, though, is seeing the response the community has to that. Seeing the way the town of Old Saybrook embraces their police department and appreciates the fine work that they do. It really is heartening for somebody in law enforcement to see. It is hot up here. My first remarks are going to be directed to Patrolman Harris. First of all, congratulations and welcome. You are going to have the opportunity to do wonderful things over the course of your career. You are going to have the ability to affect lives, to save lives, and to make Old Saybrook a wonderful place to live. With respect to Sergeant Hardy, thank you for all you've done so far, and we look forward to what you're going to be doing in the future. Captain Duperry, the same. Thank you for everything you have done and everything that you will do in the future. One of the things that I always tell officers that I deal with over the course of my career has been, you gain trust in small hurdles. You lose trust in a single act. You have to understand that what you do as an officer every single day helps you earn the trust and the support of the community. So you have to keep that in mind. You also have to keep in mind, however, that if you do one thing that is not up to the highest ethical standards, that the public will justifiably take that into consideration when dealing with you. They'll lose their trust in you. So I am going to demand of you, and I know the chief will demand of you, and the commission will demand of you, and the citizens of the town of Old Saybrook will demand of you that you always act in accord with the highest professional standards, and I know that you will. As I said, it's a great day. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I am so proud to have the opportunity to work on the cases that you present to us on a daily basis. And congratulations and good luck.
I would ask Patrol Sergeant Hardy to come forward. And I would ask the Reverend Benjamin Watts of the Shiloh Baptist Church to also come forward. Reverend, I'll have you stand right next to Sergeant Hardy. Judge McShane, if you would please administer the oath of office.
You can raise your right hand, please, Sergeant. I, Solomon David Hardy, do solemnly swear
I, Solomon David Hardy, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully perform the duties of patrol sergeant
that I will faithfully perform the duties of patrol sergeant
for the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services,
for the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, enforce, and defend
preserve, protect, enforce, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Connecticut,
the Constitution of the State of Connecticut,
the Charter and ordinances of the Town of Old Saybrook,
the Charter and ordinances of the Town of Old Saybrook,
and promise to honor and uphold
and promise to honor and uphold
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Reverend, it's my distinct honor and pleasure to hand you the photo of the home track. Please pin it on. He's not grimacing, so that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrol Sergeant Solomon Hardy. Congratulations. Thank you, Reverend. This next promotional ceremony is also historic. For only the second time in the 60-year history of the Department of Police Services, we will be promoting one of our members to captain. In my 10 and a half years as Old Saybrook's police chief, I have been very blessed to have the most perfect of second-in-commands at the most perfect times in my tenure. Lieutenant Timothy McDonald was my second-in-command as I transitioned from deputy chief to chief and stood by me, helping me communicate my new directives and somewhat new and bold ideas 10 and a half years ago to community members and stakeholders to gain their support. When he retired for about a week, till we turned him into the school resource officer at the Old Saybrook Middle School, Lieutenant Kevin Roach took the helm as my second-in-command. Together, we not only built a temporary police station, but we constructed the station that sits as our backdrop today. Both men, both fine men, both excellent family men, taught me a lot, both personally and professionally, and I can never thank them enough for what they've done for me, for the agency, and the town of Old Saybrook. My third second-in-command, Jeffrey DePerry, has also come at the right time during my tenure. As I enter the final stages of my tenure as Chief of Police for the Department of Police Services, I could not ask for a better person to be at my side. Someone who is completely in lockstep with me, who understands the vision that I hold for the agency, has the compassion that we together possess for the safety and well-being of our officers and their families, and the dedication to make sure that we are delivering the most superior of traditional and non-traditional services to Old Saybrook's residents and visitors. Because he's a captain now, no longer a lieutenant, I've had to learn some things. For example, he gets to have a little bit more of a voice. I, and for those of you that know this, know how difficult this is for me, have to understand that there's more than one way of doing things. For example, my idea for tonight was sitting in an air-conditioned auditorium. But the captain said, no, I think we should do it outside in 95-degree weather on the pavement. So, I'm learning. Before we get to the formal promotional ceremony, I would like to ask a true friend of the department, although I don't know how friendly we are because I've made you stand up and sit down the most tonight, Your Honor. I would ask the Honorable Peter McShane to take the podium to deliver a few words before we formally swear in the second captain ever in the Department of Police Services history. Judge McShane. I'll be in the shade.
You know, I never really understood how difficult it was for women until I had to start wearing this dress. And I called Judicial and said, do we have any summer robes available? And they don't. So if you think you're hot, try wearing one of these. To our officers, you know, it's no secret. When I was a state's attorney for over 5 years, Old Saybrook was just one of my favorite places. And I say that because when I was state's attorney, if I were to call the chief, or I would call DePerry at the time and say, you know, I think in this investigation I'm going to need a 747 on the tarmac fully loaded. By the time I hung up, there'd be a 747 on the tarmac fully loaded. Anything we wanted, there was such great communication. There was some great investigations. I mean, I was just so proud to be part of law enforcement. You know, this is a boating community, and there's a quote for boaters that say, you know, that the happiest day for a boat owner are two: the day they buy the boat and the day they sell the boat. That's not the way it is for police officers, and that's not the way it's going to be for you folks. This is truly a happy moment, but they all will not be happy moments along the way. There'll be some bumps along the road, but I can't think of any more of a rewarding profession. I come from a family of law enforcement, and when I go to these things, I just want to just wrap myself up in the flag and just say how proud I am to be part of it. And here in Saybrook, I was part of it for quite some time, and I do remember. I remember fondly the late nights. I remember coming here to watch interviews and of suspects, and I'm glad those days are behind me. I didn't always have gray hair, but dealing sometimes with what we had to. My hair turned gray. You know, as a prosecutor formerly and as a judge now sitting in criminal court, I rarely see people at their finest moments. But here today, I get to see everyone in their finest moments, maybe sweating like crazy, but they're at least in their finest moments. So I say congratulations to the officers. And I will steal a quote from John F. Kennedy when he said at his inauguration, "With good conscience, the final judge of our deeds, and our only sure reward, let us go forth and lead the land we love, asking for his love, asking for his blessing, but knowing that God's work here on earth must truly be our own." And that's the way it is for you police officers, and doing God's work. Thank you, and thank you, Chief, for having me come and still be part of the Old Saybrook community. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Even though he did leave his post as state's attorney, every so often in the wee hours of the morning on his commute, he'll call me, I'll answer the phone, "Good morning, Your Honor," and he simply says, "That's all I want to hear. Goodbye." Captain DePerry, if you could please come forward. Lauren, Jackson, Nathan, and Brooklyn, if you could also come forward, please. Stand behind Dad. Judge McShane, when they're in position, if you could please administer the oath of office to our new captain.
I, Jeffrey Michael DePerry, do solemnly swear
I, Jeffrey Michael DePerry, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully perform the duties of captain
that I will faithfully perform the duties of captain
for the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services
for the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, enforce, and defend
preserve, protect, enforce, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Connecticut,
the Constitution of the State of Connecticut,
the Charter and ordinances of the Town of Old Saybrook,
the Charter and ordinances of the Town of Old Saybrook,
and promise to honor and uphold
and promise to honor and uphold
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Captain DePerry. How awesome is that, huh? That's good stuff. Mr. Chairman, That concludes our promotional ceremonies this evening, and I proudly turn the podium back to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any of you who have been around events like this with the chief and the department know that a very difficult thing, if not an impossible thing, is to put something on the agenda that the chief doesn't know anything about. So wish me luck, because I'm going to give it a try right now. The final item on our agenda this evening is a discussion and possible action concerning a resolution of the commission. For the past 5 years, it's been a pleasure getting to know Chief Spira. For the past 2.5 years, it's been an honor to represent the people of Old Saybrook and to work with the chief as a member of the police commission. Every day I marvel at his energy and his dedication to his family, to Old Saybrook, and to the Old Saybrook Police Department. No one is more committed to the success, the growth, and the safety of our town than Chief Spira. We thank you for all you do for our community. With that as our background, I call upon Secretary Maselli to present an Old Saybrook Police Commission resolution that will be read into the record and voted upon this evening. Secretary Maselli, will you please read our resolution for the record?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Police Commission resolution honoring and commending Police Chief Michael A. Spira. Whereas Michael Spira began volunteering for the Old Saybrook Department of Police Services as a teenager and has continued his commitment to the department to this day. Whereas Michael Spira entered the Connecticut Police Academy in 1996, became a sworn officer in Old Saybrook, served as school resource officer, patrolman, dare instructor, lieutenant, and deputy chief. Whereas Michael Spira was promoted to the chief of the Old Saybrook Police Department in 2009 and has served with distinction for over 10 years. Whereas Chief Michael Spira has worked tirelessly to improve the performance and efficiency of the department, increase the department's connection with the community, and keep the residents of Old Saybrook safe. We resolve: 1. Compliments to the chief on the performance of the Department of Police Services under his leadership. True. Express the highest level of confidence in the chief's ability to lead the Department of Police Services. 3. Extend our sincerest appreciation for the chief's dedication to the department and to the community of Old Saybrook. 4. Congratulate our chief on his 10 years of exemplary leadership. And 5. Present Chief Michael A. Spira with a 3rd star to wear in his role as the Chief of Police for the town of Old Saybrook. Executed this 20th day of July, 2020.
Thank you, Secretary Maselli. May I have a motion to approve the resolution as read by Secretary Maselli, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the Old Saybrook Police Commission resolution as read by Secretary Maselli.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Quish. May I have a second?
I would like to second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Von Dossel. I'd like to vote on the motion, please. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising your right hand.
Aye.
Can the record show that the vote was unanimous, please? I'd now like to invite Vice Chairman and retired Chief Reed forward to make the formal presentation. Chief Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, could you come up, please? And Heather, Kendall, and Caden, could you join? On behalf of the Old Saybrook Police Commission, this is a framed copy of the resolution that was granted tonight to Chief Spira for his 3rd star. Chief? And also on behalf of the Saybrook Police Commission, the chief is getting his formal 3rd star and his formal badge that indicates 3 stars. And we'd like to present this to him tonight. Would you accept this, sir?
Absolutely. Are we allowed to shake? COVID or no COVID? There you go.
We have one more thing for the chief. And we're going to present him tonight with his 3rd star. Heather, Kendall, and Caden.
At least something's going back on, otherwise this would not be a good ceremony.
Can I get some extra beach passes now? Push hard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate the patrolman who was promoted, sergeant, and the captain. Wish you well. Chief, would you like to say a few words? Just a few words.
Well, this never happens often that I'm at a little loss for words. This would explain why everyone's been acting a little weird. So my cop spidey senses are still right on, which is good to know. First of all, obviously a sincere thank you to the members of the Old Saybrook Police Commission. Knowing that I have your confidence to continue to lead the Department of Police Services means everything to me. I certainly appreciate the honor that you've bestowed on me, but knowing that we are working together for the betterment of not only the department but our community is paramount to me. I certainly pledge to the commission, the members of the department, and certainly the citizens of the town of Old Saybrook that we will continue to lead the agency in a manner that we all can be proud of. I'm proud of all the accomplishments that we've done together over the years, whether it was like building the temporary police station that we talked about before, or doing what we did tonight for our 3 fine officers that were recognized. Lots going through my head right now. A little bit overwhelmed, which again is not normal for me. But the 3 stars is important, and I appreciate that, and I'm humbled by that. But when I think of the phrase 3 stars, it's those 3 right there. So they deserve this honor as much as me. There's certainly been a lot of late nights, early mornings, missed games, missed dinners, lots of missed dinners. The hard to explain why we have to take 2 cars to every single thing we go to. And Heather left sometimes with the explanation on where did he go and when he's coming home, which usually is I don't know and I don't know. But Heather, Kendall, and Caden, you are certainly the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I love you, all 3 of you, so very much. Well, my job is to make sure that we are all safe in Old Saybrook and that the men and women of this department stay safe as they do their job. Know that my role in making sure that the 3 of you stay safe is the most important thing to me in the world. So, Commissioners, thank you very much. Again, heartfelt gratitude. Thank you very much for this. And Chairman Keeney, you and I will have a conversation after this meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.
I think we did it. Before I close, I'd like to thank our speakers this evening and give them an opportunity to make any closing remarks. Any final words from? It's just too hot. Mr. First Selectman, anything? Scott? Matt? Okay. The last item on our agenda is comments from the commissioners. So I'm going to start with Ms. Shippey. Renee, anything? Commissioner Quish?
Just another congratulations and thank you for choosing a career to serve and protect, and in particular to serve and protect in Old Saybrook. Best wishes.
Commissioner Von Dossel?
Just want to congratulate everybody one more time and keep up the good work.
Secretary Maselli?
Chief, let the extra bling remind you that we appreciate that you often carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Captain, thank you for helping carry more and more of that weight from the chief. Sergeant Hardy, I remember our interview so long ago. It's been wonderful to watch you grow within the department. And Patrolman Harris, I look forward to getting to know you. And as your colleagues will tell you, I'm the guy, much to the embarrassment of his children, will never fail to roll down my window and wave from the brown Civic every time I see a patrol.
Vice Chairman Reed?
I've had approximately 40 years of law enforcement before I retired. In those 40 years, I've been in a lot of police departments, met a lot of police officers, a lot of chiefs. And I'm proud to be a police commissioner in this town because this department, this building, and you men and women are the best that I have seen in my career. So congratulations, and thank you to your town residents.
Thank you. Honored guests, members of the Old Saybrook Police Department, friends, and family, thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you for making this truly a special Police Commission meeting. Final congratulations to our graduate and newest patrol officer, Austin Harris. Congratulations to Sergeant Solomon Hardy on his historic promotion as he becomes our newest patrol sergeant. Congratulations, sir. And congratulations to Captain Jeffrey DePerry as he becomes only the 2nd captain in the history of the department. We do expect great things from you. And finally, Chief Spira, congratulations for your special recognition this evening. The resolution and the presentation speak for themselves. Old Saybrook is a better and safer place with you and your department watching our backs. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? May I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.